welcome back to Navigating New Earth with me, Captain Kerry, or should I say Crochet Kerry. That's the back side. I've got another couple of rows after this, and then I have to do what's called block it. I've got to block it and leave it. So I've already started my next one because I love it so much, and I just want to make loads of these blankets because they're amazing. Amazing gifts to give to people. So I was thinking I wanted to just share a message and do my crochet because we can't go anywhere. It's crazy snow. Well, that's an exaggeration. You can go places, but it's a little bit slippy. There was a bit of a break. It started to melt a bit, and now it's kind of coming down again. The weather wars, weather wars. I tell you, England's weather this past 2 years, since I've been back, it's been atrocious. It's just constantly wet. But anyway, we're not going to focus on the weather and complaining and all that. I just wanted to pop on really quickly just to reiterate and update where I'm at in this crazy game called Life on Planet Earth. It's getting insane, and more and more we're being pushed to go within and get to know ourselves and to stop giving our attention to everything external that's going on in places that you've never even been. You know, all this, all these wars and all this drama and all these false flags and everything that keep happening to take our attention away from what really matters at this time, which is this ascension process that we're in. And it's real. It's real. You know, I tell you, 5 years ago, when I first heard about it and I realized something within me resonated, I knew there was some truth. And it's just been 5 years of contemplating and just being in silence. And I don't know. I mean, look, I wanted to talk a little bit today about defense against the dark arts and the nature of this, reality that we're in and what's actually going on. But the answer, no matter what the story is, the answer is always going within and reconnecting with our divine vessel, learning how to work and operate it. And nothing's solid, nothing's the way we've been taught. Like I say, three things I always say. Number one, God is real. Number two, we're not alone in the universe. And number three, we've been lied to about everything, everything, absolutely everything. So how would I summarize where we're at? Well, some people call it a spiritual war. Other people say that it's Earth School and that we chose to be here at this time. I kind of feel like it's a bit of both. Okay, so there's some naughty children who have decided to operate this realm in a way that it was never intended to be operated. The reason being because they've severed their connection to source, or they don't want to actually go through the process or the work of reestablishing that connection to source because it's kind of it's kind of painful to go through all of the mistakes you've made and try and undo them. And so our energy, we human angelics, the ones who aspire towards the light, God, the creator, source, everything that's organic and divine and the original blueprint, we are the kind of where that we have our connection to source. And so this is why this kind of vampiric energy is sucking away at us. Hold on a minute. Betty wants me. Oh, she's a bit upset because she can't really go out in the snow. It's too cold. Are you all right there, Betty? I'm not going to lose my place. Vampiric energy. What's that? So basically, the vessel, is the prize, the human vessel and the technology within it. And so it's literally the angel and devil on each shoulder. And I heard recently a really brilliant analogy. Which one are you going to feed with your frequency? And it's always a choice. It's always a choice, even in the most difficult of situations. You always have a choice which way you're going to go. And the easiest way often is to go down the kind of the reactive route or the reactive route when we meet challenges, all right, and to be angry and defensive and righteous and to get caught up in what we perceive is being done to us or the injustices around, right? But most of this that right now, most of it that we're hearing about isn't even anything to do with your family, your friends, your village, your town. It's coming from the media and it's making us put our energy and attention and emotion into things that are not even in your realm. It's being projected through a black mirror, right? And if you haven't seen that series, there's a lot of truth in there. Um, and so which are you going to feed, God or Satan? And it all comes down to discernment as well. Now the problem is, so we're rather than being so much in a spiritual war, I see it more like a frequency war. Okay. So as I said, the media is there to kind of feed us the incorrect doomsday information for us to then kind of pin um, our hopes, dreams, and fears onto. Um, and so the mission is to stay high vibe. The mission is to keep looking for the joy, to keep looking for the highest timeline, and to focus on that because what we think we create. Now, we're not in any way, shape, or near a form to be able to start creating our reality to viscerally at the moment because the majority of the planet is in a negative polarity. Okay, there's just so much negative information, so much negative going on, and so you're kind of swimming against the tide. But this is what we have to do. We have to vision an amazing future, and even if we don't know how that's going to come about, we still have to hang on to the fact that it is going to come about. Because remember, God's in control. God is in control, and God is kind of back here now. The energy of God is coming in with the what's happening with the sun and the solar flares, and we're going into solar maximum in March, April, and it's just all ramping up. And the more light that's coming in, the darker it appears to be because the dark side is flailing and thrashing around, kind of burning in the light. And this is just what's happening. And there's no escaping it, and there's no turning back, and the dark side cannot stop the light. Cannot. And so we are basically in this huge ocean, like surfing, and the waves just keep coming, and it's just about staying afloat. Or you can do that thing where you duck under the wave and come out the other side. Um, so yeah, our vessel was hijacked. We had a false matrix hologram blueprint inserted, which was a negative polarity. There's been a lot of things that have been done to us. It's a very long story, but again, it just doesn't matter. What matters is, okay, stuff's happened. What do we do now? How do we get out of it? Okay. And the first thing is obviously in a 3D sense to move ourselves away from the governments and the control systems and the lies and the BS and organize ourselves locally, streets, towns, villages, whatever. And there are lots of resources for people to join on to, sign up on. Sorry, my dog is distracting me a bit because she seems a bit agitated and I'm just making sure she doesn't need to go to the bathroom, so I'm a bit distracted. Yeah, so we in 3D, we need to move away from all those old systems that are not really working anymore, and we've got to just start creating new ones and not worry about whether they're going to work because they are going to work if it's coming from the people. There's just so much for us to do. And also by connecting with others and creating something new, you're really getting your frequency into the new timeline. Now, so the frequency wars are about the timelines. And because the future hasn't happened yet, even though it has, because everything's already happened at the same time, but we won't go into that right now. But let's just say that we're in the linear timeline at the moment. and the future hasn't happened as far as we are aware right now, although it just has now from 3 seconds ago, if you get my drift. Anyway, so what's happening, I think, on the planet is this whole kind of Q military Trump sovereign truth movement, the seeker movement, where, the truth has come out about who we are, where we are, why we are, and the fact we have a direct relationship and connection to God, and we don't need a middleman, nor do we need supermarkets as the middlemen bit of our food. Um, where was I up to? The timelines. So we have this, Q Trump, this ascension timeline story that's going on. Now, the thing is, whether it's real or not doesn't matter. The fact is, if enough of us jump onto the frequency of that, which is about freedom, compassion, forgiveness, sovereignty, expression, expansion, growth, beauty, grace, harmony, the world being the way you always thought it was supposed to be, the way we keep waiting for it to be. But the councils and the governments just keep messing up, don't they? And it just keeps getting worse and worse. And everybody's got their heads in the sand, and nobody wants to kind of turn around and actually face it, because it is the biggest gaslighting, psychological, manipulative heist, I think, probably that's ever happened in the cosmos. And we must, honor and give a round of applause to the sheer genius, which actually comes out of just sheer laziness and ridiculousness. Because when you realize and when you see through the veil and you realize it's right up here in your face, it's so obvious, all of it. Just everything from the word politic, poly, ticks, many bloodsuckers, and government, to rule the mind, mentality. It's like it's right there in our faces. Every single word. The English language is a fourth dimensional technology. Um, I say fourth dimensional, which was created specifically to weigh and measure everything and trap us, and especially time, so that we could be broken down into, robots, basically. So again, once you kind of understand all this, and you can take a few deep breaths and not scream too much, and be absolutely outraged at the audacity of this this horrific system of control that we've all been under, you start to realize, and as you start to taste that little bit of freedom, you start to realize that it is all about your frequency, and that everything that you consume, everything in your reality, everything in your environment, from your rubbish bin to dishes in the sink, to your bed being made, to your notes being organized, and things just being clean and spick and span and organized in your reality and in your mind through mindful meditation, which again I'll come back and talk about. But I'd love to just be doing lives, but I can't, because I'm being interfered with. But Patreon is coming. And also the fact, the truth that, we don't die. When you realize that this is just a temporary vessel with a little tiny fraction of your consciousness switched on in it. Look at all the amazing things we can already do without 100% of our brains being switched on. When it is 100%, it's a completely different reality. Time is different, space is different. And the only thing that will limit you is your imagination, which is your pineal. Okay. So right now it's about detoxifying, decalcifying your pineal, detoxing your body, contemplating the fact we don't really need to eat as much food as we do, that we should absolutely originally be eating pure fruit, the original heirloom fruit. God, I miss Malaysia. Oh my God, you'd go in the supermarket in Malaysia and it was just fruit everywhere. When you first walked in, all the fruit and all the green vegetables, like the sawi and the bok choy, oh. And you walk into the supermarkets in England, and I shudder as I walk through the fruit bit, because it's all genetically modified. It's like I got limes with no pips in anyway. I think I've already mentioned that before. Um, we don't need food. We don't need all the things that we've been told. All we need is love. Literally, all we need is love. Love will keep you warm and keep you fed. And I don't mean romantic love, although that's great, but we mean, the kind of like collective, just fellow human love and fellow dog love. Yes, Betty. I suppose I should show you Betty, shouldn't I, really? Oh, she's going again. Is she going upstairs? She's going upstairs. That's a sign of a dog who's depressed because she hasn't been out for enough walks and it's cold. And she probably just wants cuddles. She's just turned away. I'm going to go and give her a cuddle in a minute. Um, yeah, we don't die. We're just in this vessel and it's a game and we're safe. And when you start to understand these truths, and when you really contemplate the idea of consent and that Yeshua Sananda, aka Jesus, the Christed one, did come to this planet to seed a grid to save humanity, to allow those who would return to source the opportunity to do so. And I've lost my track again. I'm talking about Yeshua, we don't die. And there's, oh yeah, sorry. There's a lot going on. We've got the heater just keeps firing up all the time because it's so cold and Betty. Um, Yeshua came here to pay the price so that if you were to aspire to be like Christ, then you would be protected. And I absolutely fully know that this is true. I've had so many near-death experiences without even being a dedicated servant of the Most High and of Yeshua Sananda as the our Most High brother. And yeah, I've had some crazy experiences, and I know now there is nothing to fear if you're walking in truth and the light. And it sounds, I sound like a Bible basher. I sound like I should be standing on a street corner preaching the word, but it's real. Like it's so true. It's so real. Everything that we've been told in our history is real. Even all the legend, well, actually, more so the legends and the myths are the realest of all. So remember, this is a sim. This is my sim, Kerry. My soul is Tamashimi Narakima, and we are here to totally ignore all the old BS, create our new rules. Each of us has our own realm. We can have our own rules and be sovereign in our realm. And gradually, the old world will fade and die. It will fade and die. And the new world, which we are creating, which is made of everything that's beautiful and light and sparkly and glittery and golden and natural and the original blueprint of this reality before it got taken over. Like it's a real story. I'm telling you, it's a real story. The creator created the realm. It was the Garden of Eden, and a bunch of jealous previous creations decided to hijack it. Or, we're part of the fallen angels and we're here now realizing that we're here to, go back to where we were from. But I do definitely know that there are bunches of beings here who have incarnated into the human vessel at this time to raise the frequency of the planet so that we would not be completely taken out. And trust me, when you all find out, and I'm sure most of you already know, how close we came to absolute annihilation, yeah, it's a story that's going to be told for eons to come. The story of how the humans on Earth averted absolute annihilation and rejoined their cosmic brothers and sisters and birthed a crystal clear, sparkly, beautiful, shining, divine new reality into existence in form on the planet in real time, bit by bit. That's what's going on. It's being transformed. There are way more people who are good than bad. Lots of people have left the planet. A lot of the souls that knew that they couldn't go through this journey, the frequencies are being adjusted. You know, the sun is doing crazy things, as I said earlier. The light is coming in, the frequency is raising, and a lot of people are not able to deal with it. So, the last thing I want to say, because I really do want to impress upon people the fact that the low frequency entity energy manifests as what we would call demons, which are taking over people, people that you know, and family and friends, as well as strangers. Okay. I meet my fair share, I tell you. And I say no, I call it out. I just go, oh, hello, demon. I see you, because they don't like to be seen and there's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a program controlling a vessel. The demon isn't going to jump out with it with teeth and, you know, scaly skin and stuff, unless, of course, you spend all your time focusing on that, in which case it will manifest into your reality. But, you know, we have to keep forcing ourselves all the time to think positive, to imagine this beautiful future that we're going into, which is going to be a bridge towards absolute freedom, where there will be no money, no pain, no suffering, and we'll be back in balance so that people again will be free to choose how they want to experience rather than being kind of tricked and forced into a reality that they have no idea they are a prisoner in. As Saint Germain said, if I can remember the quote, the most insidious type of bondage is that in which man is unaware of his chains. And then the other quote was, that good old chestnut that the greatest trick the devil ever played was to convince people he did not exist. Trust me, it does. This energy, this frequency, this low vibrational, it's so discordant from what we really are. And that's where the rip comes in the middle, around the solar plexus area, because you've got the higher dimensions, the divine energies pulling this way, and then you've got the lower frequencies pulling the other way. And that's what's creating this pull in the solar plexus. So we need to limit the lower frequency vibrations and allow ourselves to integrate and breathe. And know it's all an illusion, and every second that passes is another second gone into the past. Everything is passing and time is speeding up so much. It really is, right? So, yep, it's biblical, all right. And again, I'm here to, just be a team leader and hopefully get some other people to be team leaders, and then I can just follow. And, as many people, sorry, I'm doing the rows, who can stand up, speak, make videos, just be there for people. Oh, yeah. I went on to, sorry, that's the first part of the rows. I've just joined it and now I'm going. So you have these two, and then I'll talk about the channel. You've got two rows, right, of these holes. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling this one through, the blue one, and then I'm actually going to, you do the first part of the rows into the front part, and then you do the second part in the back part. So I've just done on the blue bit. So now I'm going to do another row of petals that's going to wrap around the outside. I tell you, see, this crochet, sacred geometry, it's one of the old art forms, where we used to sit around in our crystal palaces and our mansions. All right, then you pull it to the front. Oh no, sorry, another half. That one's a single, a half, three doubles, and a half. So it's going up and down. Whoops, don't let your thing get tight, it pulls. And then I'm going to go back into the blue one at the front. God, this is really, I would not be a very good crochet instructor. So I'm going to go back in here. A bit easier if I pull it up. And I'm going to do a single crochet to fasten it to the front. Then we're going to chain 4. People have probably switched off now. And then we're going to get the blue one to the front. And then we're going to start doing the first row of petals into the front. This blue one. Then I'm going to do the next row at the back, just in case, you fancy having a go. I do find it extremely good for the brain. You have to concentrate because you've got a lot of stitch counting. And, again, it's good for meditation as well. And part of this spiritual battle that we're in, we really need to learn to concentrate and hold these visions and hold the frequencies and the energies of the higher timeline, which I was talking about before, which is why I like the whole Q thing, because it's a timeline that we can all kind of agree on and get behind, right? And I can't find anything really wrong with it. I can't find any possible psyop darkness, I mean, it's just about making the world a better place, right? And allowing humanity to flourish and thrive. And it's absolutely possible, you've got to remember we've got all these 6,000 hidden patents and replicators and all sorts of incredible, amazing things coming. So hang on in there because you don't want to miss out when it's all over and be like, oof. And then remember back to any really terrible time you've been through in your life, right? It's not existing anymore. It's just a memory. This will pass. We just need to all connect with each other, okay? Anyway, I've been also doing a couple of lives on Instagram because I can't do them here. So if you want to catch me on Instagram, I am Light Songs 369. I'll write it down and I'll put it up on screen. So that was my photography name, Songs of Light. I didn't realize I was actually going to be doing light language and stuff. So is that back to front? Light songs, is it backwards? Shall I write it the other way just in case? Shall we see if I can? How quick? Wow, actually not bad considering I didn't think about it. Oh, I did the S the wrong way around, the first one. Oh, and I did my 9 the wrong way at the end, but 369. All right, so I'm on there and I'm going to jump on and do lives. And there's been a couple of people who have made comments about, feeling alone because they've lost family and friends. And also somebody mentioned the Essenes. And I think people are starting to catch on that there's a lot more going on than they want to admit, because it means you've actually got to sit down and look in the mirror and work out who are you going to be moving forward. Anyway, I know who I want to be. Might not be doing it as fabulously as I should, but we'll get there. So anyway, I know I'm repeating the same things over and over again, and it's just because I'm repeating it for myself. I'm just trying to drum it in there that, we are safe, we are protected, as long as you're following and defending the original blueprint of the divine, holy creation. Okay. So I will leave it for now and speak to you all soon. Oh, let me just show you the whole thing because people are probably going, I want to see the whole thing. And then I can go because I've got to block it after this. It's not bad, eh? So it's actually going to be this way when it's done, the blanket. I guess this is a diamond. There you go. Sophie's Universe. See you later.